The fundamental principles of banking have been the same for centuries and revolve around the greatest magic trick of all: how to create money. It's called fractional reserve banking. Here's how it started. Hundreds of years ago, banks stored gold for investors, but they realized it was unlikely everyone would claim their gold back at the same time. So they began to loan some of these gold deposits out to other people. This made money for the bank through interest and helped power the economy by allowing idle deposits to fuel new business and trade. As time went on, the banks started issuing banknotes, or IOUs, rather than physically giving out gold. And these IOUs started being traded in the economy. This meant the amount of money in circulation was much larger than the value of the gold held by the banks. So the banks' lending had, in effect, created new money. Nowadays, most money is digital. When the bank makes a loan, it creates a new asset on its balance sheet and credits the borrower's account with new funds, which creates a new deposit. The fundamental principle is the same. Every time the bank makes a new loan, it creates new money. In fact, 90% of money in the world is digital deposits that have been created by banks in this way. This is hugely important for the economy.
What it means is that banks are able to respond to demands for money in an economy. And that means that the supply of money in an economy is very elastic.
There is no set amount of money in circulation. So if the economy is booming and more goods are being created, then thanks to fractional reserve banking, the supply of money should also increase as people take out loans and make new investments. The ease with which commercial banks can create money is largely controlled by central banks, like the Federal Reserve, which set interest rates. If interest rates are high, banks pass those costs on to borrowers. This makes it more expensive for them to borrow money to buy things. And so banks create less new money. Central banks also supply money for use in the economy. They print the physical paper cash people carry around. And so banks and central banks balance the need to create money between them.
That sort of balance means that money can grow easily with demand, but also that the central bank has sort of direct presence in payments and transactions.
But this delicate balance is under threat, thanks to a revolution in the way people use money. For a start, an increasing number of businesses no longer rely on banks for loans. This is because businesses historically used to create concrete assets, like machinery, against which banks were happy to lend. They could always claim the assets if borrowers stopped repaying.
You know you're reliable. I'm glad you think so.
But intangible assets, like software, can't be easily posted as security for a bank loan.
The world has shifted in a way that does make it hard for banks to fund sort of most innovative parts of the economy. If you want to get funding as a Silicon Valley startup, in general, you'll need to go to people who are equity investors who take a slice of your business in return for some money.
And it's not just innovative startups that are turning elsewhere for funding. Since the 1950s, the share of bank loans as a percentage of GDP has been relatively stable. At the same time, non-bank loans and securities have risen sharply. This means the role banks play in financing important businesses is receding. And that's not all. The way people move and spend their money is changing too, thanks in part to a new class of mega apps from China. One of the most popular is Alipay from Chinese tech giant Ant Group. It has over 1 billion users and handled $16 trillion in payments in 2019.
I am Alipay. I have a dream to create a world where mobile payment replaces cash payment.
Rather than using bank cards to make payments, Alipay customers carry out transactions by loading money into digital wallets. They can then do anything from buying lunch to investing in stocks and shares, all without leaving the app. And rather than paying expensive international transaction fees to their bank, Alipay users can also use the app overseas.
You're already seeing this, even in America, Walgreens in the States accept Alipay, this sort of new digital payments ecosystem sort of completely disregards nation states and national borders.
It's not just Alipay. Facebook is developing its own digital currency, and Amazon is also working on financial services. Some worry this could concentrate too much power in the hands of a few tech companies. But for central bankers, the problem is even more acute. They fear these developments could cut the cord between the central bank and the economy altogether.
These super apps in China, they started off just doing payments, and now they do provision of loans, they do provision of investment services, they provide insurance, they do all the things that banks do. Central bankers feel as though their sort of ability to oversee and conduct monetary policy and oversight is, fundamentally slipping away.
So some central banks have taken radical action by creating their own digital currencies to rival the tech giants' payment systems, in the hope this will secure their grasp on the economy.
Central bankers' level of discomfort is essentially prompting them to sort of act to change this, economic system, the monetary system that has underpinned modern economies for, 250 years.
China is one of the largest economies leading the way by trialing a digital yuan. You might have heard of Bitcoin or other digital money that is supposed to disrupt finance. But digital currency issued by governments in this way might be even more radical. Here's how it works. Most central bank money is held by commercial banks as reserves against customer deposits. You can only access a small amount of this government-made money via physical notes and coins, as this physical cash is issued by the central bank. In the UK, banknotes are even signed by the chief cashier of the Bank of England. A central bank digital currency, or CBDC, is a bit like digital cash, as it gives the consumer a direct relationship with the central bank. So, in theory, instead of keeping your money in a commercial bank, you could hold all your money in the Federal Reserve or the Bank of England. CBDCs are only being used or trialed in a handful of countries worldwide, but they're growing fast. 80% of central banks are considering issuing them in the future.
Bank for International Settlements, which is the club of central bankers, says that within 3 years, a fifth of the world will live in countries that have this central bank digital money.
This could change everything. If everyone put their money into a CBDC, then fractional reserve banks could potentially be out of a job. This could affect economic growth, as they could not rely on consumer deposits to finance their loans. And this would be particularly pronounced in the developing world, where most lending still comes from banks. But that's just the beginning.
There are also concerns about potentially, cyber warfare. Because if you can take down the servers that support the central bank digital wallet system, then you could shut down an entire economy.
Digital currencies could also increase the potential for state intervention in everyday transactions.
It becomes much easier for governments to completely block your ability to pay for something. It's very easy to imagine that, perhaps you could program, money in China so that it can't be used to pay for books or newspapers from foreign sellers.
Supporters of CBDCs claim they could lead to a world where more people have access to financial services, and it's cheaper and easier to move money across borders. But innovations like this could also disrupt the financial equilibrium and give governments far greater control over their citizens' money and lives. So, although it's possible for the first time in modern history to imagine a world without banks, you might just find you'd miss them if they were gone.
I'm Alice Forward, the Wall Street correspondent for The Economist. If you would like to read more about the future of banking, I've written a special report on the subject that you can find by clicking the link. And thank you for watching.
Okay, so we say a very big welcome to everyone joining the stream today. This is day 2 of Win the
Welcome
Year.
to 99bitcoins.com. I'm Nate Martin, and I'll be your guide through this video series.
Okay, so once again, welcome to day 2 of Win the Year. I know it's been an amazing time. Yesterday, we had Ben, a business researcher, who was with us all through yesterday, sharing with us those kind of businesses that you should be on the lookout for. And as a business person, what are the things you should pay attention to in your business as you go into the new year? So let me just do a quick recap of the things we shared yesterday. So we looked at trending ideas and businesses for 2022. So Ben was straight up. He said, in the course of the pandemic last year, 2020-2021 years, e-commerce businesses just went off the roof because now everyone was in their houses, and then people needed to do a whole lot right from their home. So that made it that means that a lot of people had to do businesses via probably their website or social platforms. So e-commerce became the in thing, and it is not going away anytime soon because we have entered into a new culture that we would only sustain and probably get better and bigger as the years rolling. So he also talked about that communication applications will continue to lead the trail. Okay, we had a whole lot of them came into the limelight because of the pandemic, because now people had to stay at home and they still needed to be able to relate with one another from wherever they are all over the world. So that is going to be anything. And they also talked about cashless payments. And the aim for business people when we talk about cashless payments is making it easy for your customers to be able to pay. As a business person, you need to make it easy for your customers to make payment on any platform, and especially paying you in any currency. From my own part of the world, for example, for the past 2 years, the value of our currency has been on the decline. So if one has not positioned his business to be able to earn in another currency, that means that inflation would drastically affect the person's earning power, and that's what it means when we talk about cashless payments. So you should be able to leverage on platforms where you can earn in different currencies. That way, you are not fully affected, as it were, by the inflation rate in your own country or in your own economy. So cashless is very important. And then, of course, online innovations. And he also talked about personalized artificial intelligence. So take for example, when you click on a particular product online, you just click on a website. If you check your phone, you begin to see adverts from that same company, or you open your email, you begin to see adverts from that same company. That's artificial intelligence. So anywhere you have whatever product you are interested in, you begin to receive emails, you begin to see them on every other platform. That's artificial intelligence, because you already showed interest in that particular thing. Then that means that they want to sell to you until they can reach out to you. So that's also very important. So what does that tell you as a business person? Incorporating chatbot into your website, or probably even WhatsApp chat, Telegram chatbots, being able to interact with your clients even when you are not there is very important in keeping and sustaining conversations with your clients. Okay, and he said something about video marketing. So video marketing will still be on the rise because people want to see what they want to buy. They want to see how it operates in real time. So that's going to be on the rise. Then he also talked about freelancers. Yes, freelancing is also going to be on the rise. So there will be more people doing their personal gigs from their own, servicing people from all over the world. So those are some of the things we should look out for in 2022. So I don't know what your own experience is. You can please drop in the comments. What do you think about the face of business in the coming year? And for us at the winning community, we will be talking more about these opportunities as the year unfolds and the things we can do to ensure that we are at the cutting edge in business and everything that we do. So be on the lookout for the link on how to join. So today we are looking at two major aspects of our lives, and that is career trends and money trends. So where is career going in the next year? As a career person, what are the things you need to pay attention to be able to be at the cutting edge and to be able to lead in your sphere of career, and wherever your career choice is, you need to be able to play the A game in your career. And I have somebody with us today who is going to lead us in our conversation today. Let me tell you a bit about our guest. Okay, so let me just tell you a bit about the person I'm bringing up right now. Okay, just give me a few seconds. Let me try and bring up our profile. Okay. 1 second, gone. All right, so let's do this. Yeah, so our next speaker is she's a BSc graduate of Owo University and a master's graduate of Lagos State University. She works full-time as an IT research officer and lecturer at National Center for Technology Management. She's also a freelancer as a data scientist, an AI researcher, and a user support volunteer at Universal International. She's a member of the American Association for Cancer Research and the Association of Data Scientists. Her career goal is to speed up disease diagnosis and treatment using AI methods. She's an MOOC addict, loves listening to inspirational music, and she loves to travel. Okay, so I've said so much. Drum rolls, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome our speaker for today, the first section, Mary Adeomi. So, Mary, you have the floor. Welcome. It's good to have you in the studio today.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And thank you for the opportunity, Pastor Delia Yobankole. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good afternoon or good day to you, wherever you're watching from. Yes. I don't need to introduce myself again. So I'll be talking on career trend. So I don't know, I can't see my slide. Okay, yes. Okay, I can see it now. Okay, so I'll be talking about career trend and what I intend to give out today is introduction to career trend, because you have to know what it's all about, before we can actually say this is what it's all about. So the definitions, the types of career, the changing careers, the tip for finding the right career path, 2022 skill outlook, the projected growth rates, which career will be around in 2022, the jobs with the highest demand and the jobs with the lowest demand, then changing careers and career mistakes, and quotes. So talking about career trend, let's first look at what is career. If we're talking about career, what is a career? What do we mean by career? So it's an occupation taken, for a significant period of the person's life and with opportunities for progress. Let's underline the word for progress, or let's highlight the word for progress. If it's not going to take us anywhere, then it's not a career. It's just a short-term base. You just want to quickly do maybe to get a job, or maybe to get something, or maybe to just have a quick money. So for progress. Then it also can be defined as sequence of attitudes, activities, or behavior associated with work roles of individual. Other names for career, what are the other names we can call? We can call it job, we can call it profession, we can call it occupation, we can call it vocation, we can call it work of life, we can call it position, we can call it post. So whenever you hear that, you know that yes, it's actually talking about my career. Then what do we now mean by career trend? He said it can be defined as the fastest growing industries. Scratch fastest growing industries, something that is moving, that keeps moving over time, and all the best opportunity for potential employees. It's all the best opportunities. Underline the word best opportunities. Best opportunity for potential employees. So he said, for example, let's assume that you work in IT field and searching for a job over a busy schedule. You're searching for a job that boosts, that you want to boost your IT. That's career trend. That's what we mean by trend. You're on your toes. You keep moving up the ladder. That's what we mean by trend. Okay, so yeah, another names introduction is still continuing. For trend, current direction. So we are saying job direction. We are saying job drifts. We are saying job leaning. We are saying job run. We are saying tendency. We are saying tide. Where is it moving to in year 2022? And that's what we want to look at. So types of career, we have the long term, we have the short term. I just want us to have, because sometimes when we don't know the fundamentals, we might not know where we're going to. So what are the long term? The ones that we do for a very long time. And most of the time is always accompanied with long-term goals. You have goals, you have the long-term goals, which normally runs from, say, 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Those are long-term goals. And short-term careers, jobs we do for a very short term, like what we do in a long term, or we do in a very short term, not what we do to be in a long term. So there's sometimes that there's short-term career, just have to, you want to do it, you want to be in that job. Like I would say for myself, I would be using myself for example, because I know that I've gone through it, Before I would say I started my career as an AI or AI researcher. What are the steps I've gone through? Those are the short-term career. They are short-term goals, like me learning maybe data science, like me learning machine learning, like me going to deep learning, like me, going to all diverse of learning all those stuff, like me learning maybe explainable models. Those are short-term career. They're not my career at the end of. They're not the long-term career, but they are things, or they are goals that I had to achieve for me to get to that long-term goal. Okay, so changing careers. We all know what happened in year 20 since the inception of COVID. COVID brought people were changing career. There's some people that their jobs remain redundant, and that's why we are really treating and we're really looking at this. COVID brought in a lot of changes, and that change has come to stay. It's been projected, like my speaker said yesterday, it's been projected that it's going to stay with us for a very long time. So it's not going anywhere. So it's like job loss has forced many unemployed to change their careers as the industry remain troubled, redundant. They're not functioning any longer. Money is no longer coming in. The people that maybe the business people, the money is no longer coming in that area. So they have to change career. So sometimes it's not as if they find themselves there, but because situation just happen, unexpected happen. There's sometimes the unexpected happen, and you don't have the option then to just change career. Then, so to transition into new different career and jobs, before I go into that, I would just say a bit of myself. I would just use a bit of my example so that you can just pick a bit before I go to career progression. Okay, I work in ASSETM as a general researcher. Our mandate is totally different. What we do is innovation researches, and I had computer science. I read computer science, and I was like, I couldn't find my balance. I was lost in the track. I was like, how am I going to get through this? Innovation is totally different from what I was reading. I was looking at virtual reality. I was looking at other things. I was looking at IT, the main core IT, and I was not seeing it. I was not seeing research. She's in that aspect. All we are doing is innovation in SMEs, you know. But one thing that he has taught me, or one thing he taught me, was that I learned research, how to carry out research along that line. So in 2019, or at the session of COVID, and we were forced to stay back home, I was like, oh, so how am I going to get through? How am I going to? It was as if I was stuck. It was as if I was not going anywhere. It was as if I was just redundant. I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't like the position I was. I didn't like how everything was going. So what, like, those are the situations. That's when you know that yes, you are getting stuck. That's when you know that it's time for you to change career. It's time for you to change it when you don't like what you're doing at a particular point in time. You don't like what you're doing. You're not feeling it, you know. And what did I do? I was like, oh, I just and before you know it, I stumbled into Coursera, and I saw data science. We work with data in my company, so it's no longer a big deal for me. So I was like, oh, the only thing is that big data was into trillions, or thousands and 10,000s of data, trillions of data, zillions of data, and you're working through it. So when I saw it, I found a balance. I was like, oh, this is actually what I wanted. And before you know it, I didn't just want to become a medical, what's it called, an AI researcher, but just because of when I saw what I actually wanted, because then I know that I actually wanted a speed up diagnosis, because I noticed that cancerous people, they always die. Most of the time they die before they even get diagnosed. Sometimes they don't even get the actual diagnosis for them. So I was like, oh, and this is an opportunity for me. Why can't I go to? And I saw the way health was going. So you could see you had to monitor a trend, you had to monitor your environment at any particular point in time. The environment, the world needed data science, the world needed AI researcher at that particular point in time. Our health was going through a lot. You know, the time for them to diagnose COVID, most people have died, you know, during that time. So you could see that there were so many issues, and our health was crying for help. So I saw the career progression, I saw the progression. I was like, oh, health is a very good, it will be a very good place to invest my time and everything in. And that was why I put in all my energy. After learning data science, of course, the short-term goal, I go through data science, I learned the AI models, I learned everything that I need to learn. I learned deep learning, I went through machine learning, I went through all sorts. You know, I went to genomic data science, I went to computer vision, that is using image analysis. And before you know it, that was when I now, oh, this is actually where I wanted to. So you could see that the long-term goal, what's my long-term goal? My long-term goal is to be able to use AI models to speed up diagnosis. But you could see the short-term goals. You could see the short-term careers that came alongside before I can reach that destination. So that's what changing careers can mean for anybody, or can mean for you. Okay, so have a career goal. If you want to change career, have a career goal and follow it religiously. You know, we said the issues has made people to get stuck, and the issues have made people to even want to change their career totally. First, have a career goal. Follow it religiously. Religiously means no going back. Religiously means when you're supposed to take, maybe you're supposed to do a course. You're supposed to do a course for a month. Stick by it. If possible, even go earlier. You know, you're not going to, you know, you're not going to start bending rules and say, I have this one, I have that one, I have this one. No, you have to come out straight and deal with it the way it is coming. Deal with it. If you have to set goals that, oh, I'm going to study this one, I'm going to have this one, I'm going to read, I'm going to study my AI models, I'm going to study maybe one of the models today, maybe nice base, and I'm going to study this week. Go for it. Make sure at the end of the week you are able to study, you're able to know what is actually, and you're able to carry out projects on that thing. So have a career goal, follow it religiously. Take up new skills. Take up new skills. You must be ready to be trainable. That is, sometimes you have to lift, or you have to put down all the things that you've known over time and take up new skills. You must obtain money. Everything I'm going to say, you are going to see the uses of it when we get to career progression. Obtain a more in-demand skill certificate. That is, as you are taking more new skills, make sure they are in demand. Make sure they have certificates, because at the end of the day, that's a certificate that will make us to show for what we've learned over time, and not just a certificate, a project. Own it. Own it. Be able to own anything anything you are doing, any learning, any new skill you're taking up, be able to own it. That is, you're able to, when they call you and wake you up in the middle of the night and you're able to do it. That is, follow it out to health. So obtain a trade if you have to. Obtain a trade, go for a trade, go learn a trade. Sorry, I said obtain a trade. Learn a trade. You have to. If you have to go for, if you have to go for this, you have to go for this. You have to learn a trade. You know, if sometimes you have to volunteer. Sometimes you have to go and work. You know, when you're not being paid. Sometimes you have to do so many things just because you are going up there. You know where you're going to. You already, your eyes is on the goal. You know what you want to achieve at the end of the day. Go to graduate school. Go to graduate school if need be. That's if need be. It's not necessary, but if need be, sometimes you have to go to graduate school. So, and sometimes it's not just graduate school. There's so many. Sometimes it's not just there's so many graduate school. There's 6 months. There's a month. And thank God for MOC. Like Cosira, they're giving us so many opportunities, especially we from this climb. You know, you can obtain scholarship. Although it's going to take 14 days for it to get approved, but you can obtain scholarship. You know, when scholarship as much as possible, just to get where you just get to where you're going. Okay, so what are the tips for finding career paths? What are the tips? You know, network regularly and carefully. Underline the word carefully. You know, I would say my own with LinkedIn. You know, when you're networking, with people, make sure they are the people that you are going to the same place. Make sure the people you are networking with, they are people you are going to the same place. What's the advantage of that? The advantage of this is that when they're sharing opportunities, when they're sharing, you'll be able to see them. You'll be able to see, because the news feed, thank God for AI now, the news will be able to show you what they're how they're doing it, you know, the step by steps. And that was how I was able to leverage on this. You know, I know that I wanted to be studying, I wanted to do cancer research. So I had to leverage on association network. I had to leverage on go to Association of Data, what's it called, American Association of Cancer Research, because I know that that's the top association that works on cancer research. It was a rigorous time. It was a rigorous process. They had to go through so many things. I would say it even took me like 4 months before they gave me membership ID. So it was a rigorous process, you know. So learn a skill. I say learn a skill. Leverage on association network. Leverage on them. If you want to be a data scientist, leverage on association of data scientists. If you want to be what is it called, medical, leverage on all these association network, because when they're posting, you'll be able to see their steps. You'll be able to see mentors. You'll be able to see, you know, sometimes the mentors are not the one. Sometimes they're not the one we see on regular basis. They're just the one. Sometimes they're the one that they don't even know that we are their mentee, but you keep following them back to back. You keep following them back to back. Those are tips for finding right career path. Be a lifelong learner. Don't get tired of learning. Don't get tired of learning, because the day you stop learning, that's the day that person dies spiritually and everything. That's the truth. Pay attention to industry news. You know, I was telling you the other time, you know, I was paying attention to the industry. I knew that, you know, AI for health will be a big deal. And it's really a big deal, and it's still a big deal, and it's going to continue being a big deal. You know, I was paying attention. What's going to happen in the next 5 years to our health? If COVID can come in like this and struck us, and we don't even have you know, and render our economic paralysis, you know, and so many other things happen, you know. So I was like, what's going to happen? So these are things you pay attention to. Industry news. Make plans, but be flexible. Be flexible. Yes, you are making plans, but be flexible. That is, don't be rigid. You know, sometimes some things will just come and you don't, you know, that's those three last points, the last 3 points, they intertwine. You know, be ready for career shifts. That is, sometimes they will just come in. There's so many jobs I've done, and you know, and I will just jump into them, and I will just use it maybe to collect, maybe, you know, just add some, just to gain the knowledge, to have the good knowledge, what's it called, the knowledge part, and sometimes to even have change, to have money, you know. Why? Because I was flexible. I already know what, you know, I already know the little careers that are along my path, like data science, along my path, you know, like predicting data, they are along my path. Be ready for career shifts and be open to lateral moves. Okay, so now I'm going to career progression. I'm going to talk about the skills outlook, the growing one and the declining one. So looking at this skill outlook, sorry, it looks as if it's signing in my let me just, yeah. So the growing ones, you can see the growing ones. They are the analytical thinking and innovation. Innovation will never go out of place. You must be able to analyze something critically. Critical thinking, analytic thinking, and innovation. Active learning and learning strategies. So that means MOC will never go out of place. Active learning and learning strategies. You're learning smartly. Don't just learn because there's so many information. The rise of IC and network branding everywhere made it that you are available, as in there's so many information available to you at any particular point in time, but you're able to sift it. You're able to sieve it and know the one that actually meant for you. Creativity, originality, and initiative. It will never go out of time. Creativity, being original, being creative, learn to use. God has given us the brain. Sometimes I just use it as a beginning to tell my children that I'm telling you to can you just make use of that brain. That's how we are different. We are different from robot. That's how we are different from computer science, from computer. That's how we are different. Computer, you have to put in program, is what the program says, that's what they bring it out. But human brain, God bless us so much that God has given us that brain. We should use it. Be creative. Think about many ways things can go wrong. Think about how you can provide solution to issues. Critical thinking and analysis. Complex problem solving. Be detailed when you're solving problem. That is, have a structure in solving problem. Leadership and social influence. You will never go out of place. Emotional intelligence, being having empathy. That was what I saw when we were at the beginning of COVID. I was like, okay, what of you? Okay, we are saying Africans don't have COVID, Africans don't have COVID. What of you COVID now come and dominate, and before you know it, as in it's now a big deal in Africa. What's going to happen to our health system? Is our health system not going to crash? That's a turning point in my life that, wow, you have to deal with it. You just have to look for ways. How can we have a speed up diagnosis? And thank God there's so many things that happen along the line. I would say I joined the research in COVID then. and COVID-net was just giving us so many informations to make use of. And before you know it, it's now very easy now that once you just make use of one stripe and you know whether you have COVID or not. That's technology. So it's not going to go out of place. Emotional intelligence, that is empathy. Put the country in your shoes. Wherever you find yourself, whether you're here in Nigeria or whether out there, put people in your shoes and see how, and that's how to solve problem. When you're wearing other people's garments and say, oh, what if this happened to me? Or what if this happened to my country? What's going to happen? Am I just going to be part of it? Am I just going to allow it to, or be part of it? Am I just going to be active or be passive part of it? That's emotional intelligence. Reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. That is creating idea, generating idea. Reason, critical thinking, it goes hand in hand. System analysis and evaluation will never go out of place. System analysis will never go out of place. Evaluation will never go out of place, and they go hand in hand with data analysis. They will never go out of place. And the ones that are declining, according to the World Forum, is you could see it, World Economic Forum, manual dexterity, endurance, and precision. Just like manual labor, they're going to go out of place. There's some there, and they're gradually declining for 2022. Memory, verbal, auditory. That is, you are just memorizing things. You don't know the actual application of it is going to go out of place. It's going to go out of place. They're gradually declining. Those skills are gradually declining. Management of financial material resources. Why? Why is it management of financial and material? Because everybody can manage their resources now. Everybody can manage their financials now. Why? Because they're getting expertise. They're getting AI. Some people are leveraging on AI. Some people are leveraging on skills. They're employing that's financial CFO that knows how to use data science, or that knows how to use computer to to arrive at a conclusion, to arrive at a reasonable conclusion. People are getting it. So now management of finance, maybe the accountants, or they are gradually declining. That's the truth. Skills like that, they are gradually declining, except if they bring in IT, except if they bring data science, except if they bring statistics analysis. into it. Then technology installation and maintenance. Why? Because everybody is doing it their own way. Everybody has started installing. Like installation, like you tell me to come and you tell me that I just buy a CCTV camera, I will now need an expert. No, I don't need an expert. I know how to fix it. I'll fix it, and I'll be seeing everything I need to do. And then everything I need to know. Those skills are declining. Or maybe you buy a computer, you want to install everything now is plug and play. You make use of software, you just plug and play. You just plug it in and install it. You're good to go. Reading, writing, math, and active listening. Yes, there's a research that just came out now that the math, the data science and what's it called, machine learning engineers are the ones that are dominating and really know what they're doing are the mathematicians. Why? Because math is gradually declining. So the people that did what's it called, that just cram mathematical formula, those skills are going to decline in 2022. Because why? Because people now need the mathematical model, application of mathematical model, to arrive at a conclusive or at a reasonable conclusion. That's what people need now. That's the skills that is going on now, and people are really using them. They really need them now. The physicists, they're gradually declining, except you add IT to it, except you add data science to it, except you add analytical skills to it. They're gradually declining. Management of personnel, managers, people don't really need managers again. Why? Because they're working from home. It's now a remote. Work without walls now. All of us are working. They're working everywhere. Now, yes, Nigeria, they're resuming back. But in other countries, they're not resuming back. So this gradually declining. Then quality control and safety awareness, coordination and time management, visual auditory and speech abilities, that to be able to say, to be able to talk, like how many people are watching BBC News now? How many people yes, some people are still watching it, but it's not as rampant as before. Why? Because I can easily go to scroll through my phone and all this what's it called? All these Google assistants and all these browser assistants will easily tell me what is happening. So I don't need to go to BBC News. They will just tell me what's happening. They're gradually declining. Technology use is gradually declining because everybody is now itching to know more about technology. Everybody wants to be tech savvy now. They want to be tech. They want to know what's there. Monitoring and control. They're gradually declining. Okay. And the next slide. Sorry. I have to go. So, and the next slide. Just projection in 2022, 2023. So this data, this provided by Power4. I put all the references so you can, if you want to have a view at the references, so I will, you can just have a look at it. So you can see job progression. That is the direct formal jobs, the direct formal jobs, So let me just take a view of mine. So you can see in India. See, the direct formal jobs, those are the ones that need technical skills. Those are the ones that you have to get what's it called? You have to be licensed, or you have to go through technical skills before you can get them. So you can see in India, 180,000 for the direct formal jobs, but 200,000 for the indirect formal jobs. Indirect formal jobs are the jobs that you don't need any formal education. You just go through it, you just learn on the job, and there you go, and you have it. In Kenya, see Kenya, direct formal jobs 17,000, direct informal jobs, that's 30,000. You can see that they are really trying to overtake the direct informal jobs. But in Nigeria, as we speak, presently, as we speak, the direct formal jobs is 52,000. 52,000, yeah. 52,000 direct formal jobs, but direct informal jobs are just 24,000. Direct informal jobs, that means you still have to go through the technical skills. You still have to go through the technical way to get the jobs now. Okay, so so you can see, I just want to mention the impact of ICT in Nigeria, because I was privileged. Yes, I was privileged to be to listen to Professor Isai Pantami. That's the former head of NITDA. I was in Abuja last week for the Digital Economic Council meeting. And you could hear what he was saying. He said in 2021 they recorded 17.9% of ICT, as in ICT services. That was what that contributed. ICT recorded 70.9% that contributed to the Nigerian GDP. Nigerian GDP, that is Nigerian gross domestic product, as we speak now. So ICT contributed 17.92, apart from the digital services. That if you now add the digital services, that's the e-banking, the e-commerce, my partner, my speaker, the yesterday speaker was talking about it. The e-partner, the what's it called? The digital services, they added up to 44%. What are they saying? IT is the new oil in Nigeria. They're telling you the IT is a new oil. So we have to take it. We should not take it for granted. We have to look into it. Okay. So projected jobs in 2022. This is a job projected jobs because the convener said I should not just localize it. I should go. We never can tell who is going to watch it or who is watching it. Okay, so looking at the projected jobs, you can see the wind turbine service technicians. This data is according to the US, US labor bureau statistics. So the wind turbine service technicians, 68.2%. The nurse practitioners, the wind turbine need technical skills. It needs computer skills. That's the truth. You need the hardware and software skills for you to do wind turbine service technician. Why? Because US makes use of turbine energy. They make use of wind turbine. They use the wind to generate energy. So it keeps rising. So if you're in the US, this is a job. This is a career to look into. Nurse practitioners. That one has always been raining back to back. The nurse, they've been raining back to back. I was surprised that I didn't see doctors, but I know that the AI taking over doctors. The AI taking over doctors because there is this he said this literature this book that I read, that the doctors were complaining or something, but they were saying that we don't want more jets. We want a speed up diagnosis. We want everything to be speed up, to be sped up. So how are you going to help us? So at the end of the day, they are bringing in the AI into team of medical professionals. So that's what is happening. The nurse practitioners, they will keep rising. They will keep rising. The solar photovoltaic installers. If you're in energy is being needed everywhere. If you're in energy, it keeps rising. Statisticians, they will keep rising because now, the other one was talking about math skills. Statisticians, what's the difference between math and statistics? They make use of model, they make use of the analysis, that is, they make use of the applicability of mathematics or mathematical model. That's what statisticians does. So they're quite different. And when they divert into that science or when they divert into anything analytical skills, they're always on top of their game. Physical therapists, assistants, the information security analyst, insecurity, we're having an issue with online issues, online insecurity right now. So they will keep rising. Information security analysts, and that's what all these Yahoo are leveraging on in Nigeria right now. And we are saying that okay, let's recruit them, let's get information from them, let's see how to tackle the Yahoo, let's see how to tackle cyber crimes in Nigeria. They will keep rising. That's the truth. Home health and personal care aids, they will keep rising over there. Nigeria, I'm not sure, but over there they will keep rising because they take care of their senior citizens. They don't joke with their senior citizens. Not only in US, Australia, Canada, this works for them. Health services managers, data scientists, they'll keep rising anywhere. Keep rising. Then physician assistants will keep rising. You could see these three what's it called? All these job projected, they are under some sectors. Energy sectors, they're categorized under energy sectors. They're categorized under what's it called? The IT sector. I can see IT sector and I can see health sector. So look into those three, projected job rates in 2022. Okay, the highest projected employment in 2022. So let me just go to highest. They are the highest. So this is a job to really look into. And honestly, they've been raining back to back. They've been raining. I have a friend that is a nurse in the UK. You know, all other my all friends will be like, oh, if I call her and say, I want to come today, as in I'll just give her maybe a month to say. Sometimes say, Mary, come next week. I'm okay, I'm ready for you. For a very long time. So forget, they are doing well. I see them on LinkedIn. I was saying, oh, fantastic, you're doing a great job. That's the truth. The ones that knows their onions very well, they're doing well. General and operation managers. This one, we were talking about the declining skills the other time. Remember the managers. The managers are different from this one. General and operation managers, maybe overseeing people, Then elementary school teachers, look into that too. Elementary school teachers, not just elementary school teachers here. We're talking of teachers that make use of IT to teach their students. Even in Nigeria, I know some family that they're not from they don't allow they not allow their children to resume since COVID. They have these teachers that teach them, and if you know how much they're paying them, why? Because they're making use of IT skills. They have IT skills. So we have to leverage on IT in everything we are doing. So they're not just elementary school teachers, not the teachers, not the regular teachers. No, we're not talking about regular teachers here. Accountants and auditors. I would say that auditors, yeah, but the accountant and auditors that use IT, please look at all these things, all these jobs. They are the ones using IT. They're not the accountant that you make use of our whole what's it called? What did they call it? Is it balance and drop down, and what do they call it? No, they are the accountants that are really making use of IT to analyze and arrive at a very good point. They arrive at a very good. They make good decisions from what they're doing. So secondary school teachers, management analysts is like, and don't forget, accountants and auditors, they are like data analysts. Yeah, they are like data analysts. They make use of data. What of what's it called? Management analysts, the lawyers that knows what they're doing, the software developers, applications, middle school teachers. This one is US owned, not Nigeria. Computer system analysts, financial managers, construction managers, market research analysts, and marketing specialists, preschool teachers, software developers, system softwares, human resource specialists, sales representative will keep rising too. Yeah, you keep rising. Those are short-term careers. Show that short-term, they're not really short. They're not really a long-term goals at the end of the day. Short-term careers, they just want to quickly have it to have money in your hand. Technical and scientific product, physicians and surgeons, network and computer system administrators, recreation workers. That is people that tourism. Yeah. Okay. But the ones that are getting that, they're going low now. As in that, the lowest projected employment in the US, because sometimes what is happening in US sometimes gets to us here. Environmental science teachers, post-secondary exercise physiologists, you can just go through it. Geography teachers, library science teachers, post-secondary. Why? Because all the information are online now. Why will I want to do home economics? Why will I want to employ teachers and secondary teachers? It's even fading away. I think they've even canceled it in WASC from what I heard, or they're about to cancel it, home economics. They don't want to use it any longer. Why? Because there are so many cooking apps that you can leverage on, and you can get how to cook. Why would I want to now employ a teacher specifically for home economics when I can easily play what's it called, the YouTube cooking key skills for my students, to learn, and library science. Okay, my time is up. Okay, so
Yeah. All
okay,
right.
so
So
let me
maybe
go. Let me
just give us
just
your final
okay.
thoughts. Maybe just two or
Okay,
three
so
minutes.
yeah, the career mistakes, lack of career focus and goals, got stuck in career growth, lack of career mentors, limiting your network, lack of time off for re-evaluation, not investing in oneself and burning bridges. So the final quote here, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. According to Solid Parton, if you see that you are getting stuck, start paving another one, do something else. And success doesn't come and go. So it doesn't just come and find you. You have to go out. We all have to go out and get it. So, and I could either watch it happen or be part of it. It's
I'll be
either I watch
part
it
of
happen
it.
or be part of the trend. All right, thank you very much.
All
Yes, thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you
Thank you for
so,
having me.
so,
Yeah.
so much. All right, so we say a big, big thank you to you. So I do believe that our viewers have enjoyed so much from this. We're still going to have a discussion time where people can ask questions as it relates to career transition. So you're going to hang out in the studio while we just go through the next session. So for another 30 minutes thereabouts, we're going to look at money trends, and Davis is going to be leading us on that. Okay, so we say a big thank you. Please hang it in the studio. We will be right back. So thank you so much, Mary. Okay, so I'm going to bring in up another person right now to lead us in the next discussion. Very, very amazing guy, I tell you. When somebody knows their onions, they know what they are talking about. Let me tell you a little about David. David is an astute CFD trading professional and coach with over 10 years experience of brokerage services, forex trading, automation, and education in the financial sector, with a degree in business administration and over 10,000 hours of learning and trading. So he's a pro. When you have invested about 10,000 hours in trading, you know what you're talking about. Okay, so David is loaded with classified information in market making and institutional price delivery mechanism. He is currently the country director for All Stars Trader, a revolutionary brokerage firm, first of its kind to offer football celebrities as tradable assets (CFD) based in St. Vincent and Grenadines. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stream today, Davis Babalola, as he takes us in the next session. What are the money trends for you to watch out for in the coming year 2020? What are the money trends? Where is the money? So this is a point where we ask that question. Show me the money. This your video is not on, so please put on your video so that the audience can see you where you are. Okay, so
All right.
let me know when you're ready for, or the video is still not on. Kindly put on your video. Kindly put on your
Yes,
video.
on
Yes,
now.
yes, yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, all over the world. Thank you, Dr. Ivankoli. Thank you for having me. Such a great opportunity to be here. And thank you, Mary. That was very, very insightful, man. I was listening all through and writing notes. That's very incredible. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, so let's get to it very quickly. Shtayo, can you help me load up my slide? All right, so very quickly, I want to talk about money trends in 2022, things we should be watching out for in the coming year. A lot has happened in 2021. Mary, in fact, it was as if Mary was actually peeping into my slide a little bit as well. But it was very, very interesting. A lot of things is happening in the next phase. Like she said, disruption that happened and COVID-19 was actually telling us something. Okay, it was launching us into a deal path that the entire continent, okay, or planets of the world are actually due to migrate into. And then sometimes when changes in nature want to happen, sometimes they're forceful, sometimes they are gradual. In this case, it's forceful because COVID-19 have to move everybody in that direction and then we want to go into it. So I have very limited time. So I won't really do much of in-depth analysis, but I just want to point us in direction that we should be looking at in the coming year. Okay, so I'm just going to be telling you some of the sector that we need to put our energy. So if you have some spare cash that you want to make some investment on, you should look into around these areas. Okay, that is the area where you can get very good return on your investment, all right, in the coming year. Okay, so just put a portion around maybe some $100, $20, $200, $50 somewhere into some of these sectors, and then hold it throughout the year and see what happens. It's as simple as that, and it's going to be an eye-opener. All right, the first thing I want to talk about is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the first thing I want to talk about, and this is very, very, very interesting. We all know that a lot has been happening. Let me talk about locally now, right? A lot has been happening even in the issue. There was something on the news that I saw, a particular young man who went to a bank in Nigeria and wanted to commit suicide. The guy just wanted to kill himself because his account security were bypassed by some fraudsters, and close to 500,000 naira was withdrawn from his account without his knowledge. And unfortunately, the banks were even helpless around it. So it's telling us something. All right, so there's an increase in the rate of hackers' activities all over the world, regardless of the pressure we're having in stock market, everything correcting themselves, okay? But cybersecurity solution would definitely be on high demand, okay? Now, no business, especially now that everybody's moving online, okay? I was looking at the trends that, career trend that Mary was talking about some businesses that are moving in some direction, and she was very emphatic about the fact that there are businesses that are powered by IT. And then opportunities also comes with problems. So since they're powered by IT, there's cybersecurity issues. Okay, that means it's possible that they can be hacked into. Okay, a team of professional doctors having a surgery or something, some crooks can hack into their database and be requesting for a ransom for it to be delivered, because they know it's a very important sector. So cybersecurity is very key. Okay, so these days now, securities of banks are being bypassed, especially in this part of the world. Fraudsters are taking a whole lot of ethical courses in hacking, and then they are using it the other way out, and they're hacking into people's accounts. They don't have to hold on to you to actually get access to your funds. So it's becoming crazy, right? So any company that is offering solutions around cybersecurity will definitely thrive in the coming year. It will definitely thrive in the coming year. So you want to actually look into that space, okay, and look at opportunities around that area. So for cybersecurity, these are stocks you want to look into if you want to put some little funds around in companies that have that are offering cybersecurity solution. One of the leading one is CrowdStrike Holdings. All these things you can actually see them on Bamboo and Chaka. I know some of them are facing a hard time now with Nigerian government, but there are ways around it how you can actually fund your account or something, and then you can buy some of all these stocks. But these stocks are great opportunities that you can hold. So CrowdStrike Holding is actually a very good one. Cloudflare Incorporation is fine as well. CrowdStrike is actually leading because it's an artificial intelligence that is built into the cloud. Okay, so it monitors real-time activities and then kind of prevents spoofing and a lot of fraudulent activities that happens in the background. So Cloudflare is another one. Okta Incorporation is another one. Palo Alto Networks, Zscaler, Mimecast, Ping Identity Holding, and Rapid7 Incorporation, RPD. These are stocks that you can buy. Put a little fund there. It could be $20 you can afford. It could be $10. It could be $50. Just put it in there so they buy a unit of their shares and hold it for a while and see what happens at the end of the year. So as more opportunities grow in the IT sector, more challenges will come in cybersecurity. Fraudsters will keep looking for a way to break into those thriving sectors to take advantage. So businesses that are offering solutions against them would definitely be on the rise. It's no brainer. There's no two way around it. This would definitely happen. All right. So let's move into the second sector, talking about telehealth. Like I said earlier, that it was as if Mary was actually peeping into my slide. The very interesting point that she was raising about nurses being in high demand and stuff like that as well. But there was actually a particular trend that evolved during the COVID-19. It's called telehealth. All right, because of COVID, right? A lot of people couldn't go to physical hospitals to see doctors. Everybody is scared. They don't want to touch this. They don't want to get infected and all those stuff. Okay, so a new technology emerged called telehealth, where people can have virtual appointments with doctors. And then they can just have a biometric of you checked somewhere via a device that you have remotely, okay, that's connected to your PC. They ask for some vitals, and then they could diagnose you and tell you this is what is happening, this is what is happening, and this is what you could do. So you don't have to go to any hospital. Right there on your computer screen with internet, you have access to Tele Health. Okay, so big doctors prefer solutions. They give diagnostic information to clients, and then people take a lot of opportunity around it. It's been it's growing very rapidly because a lot of people prefer to do that than going to an hospital and get infected or something like that. All right. Okay, but the only threat to this sector is the success of the vaccine. So it's been predicted that if this vaccines is successfully implemented, a lot of people could have access to it, and then it's actually efficient against the COVID-19 itself, then this sector may actually dwindle, okay, and then people will now go back to traditional visit to hospital and stuff like that. But as long as new variants keep coming out, like Omicron and all those stuff, telehealth is going to be in a very long haul of profiting. So a very good stock you want to look into is Teladoc Health. It's called TDOC on the stock trading platform. So you can look for that opportunity. Okay, it's been saying that it's estimated to aggregate about 40.6 million virtual visits by the end of 2021. That is incredible. All right. So let's move on pretty quickly. Just trying to drop this. Then let's talk about fintech. Fintech is actually the hope of the future. All of us know what happened to our own Paystack and how much it was sold for. It's incredible. So fintech is actually a lot of game changer now. We see a lot of things happening now, a lot of disruption happening. We're seeing digital banking coming back. Take, for example, what Kuda Bank is doing to traditional banks. It's incredible. You don't even see it coming. Okay, a lot of changes are happening now. A lot of payment systems are happening. You can send payment from UK to Nigeria within seconds. A lot of barriers are being broken. Blockchain and crypto technology taking over. Government fighting it, but no, they have to just find a way around it. Now we have e-Naira, a digital coin, in the mix because we can't kill this. They just have to find a way to move around with it. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities coming up in the fintech space. That is going to be a very good opportunity that we have to look into as well. In our local space, of course, we know the likes of Paystack, Piggyverse, Pega into Switch. In fact, new technology keep coming up. There's something new in town called All Stars Trader. It's the first of its kind now that offers sports trading as tradable assets. All right, now people can now, in Nigeria, for example, people are very crazy about sport, about football. You see Nigerian youths all over everywhere when it comes to ball, but they've never had the opportunity to earn £1 on their football stars. All right, but now there are opportunity now that while Morano is playing in his match, okay, they can have their help and then they can trade the players. They can make money on his performance because they understand that this guy will play well in this sector. So fintech are taking the lead in different payment system. Gross payment volume on network on fintech has grown from about 6.5 billion to an annual run estimate of $167 billion as at the end of September. All right, so peer-to-peer digital payments actually been doing well. So one very good stock we want to look around here is what we call Square. All right, the website is squareup.com. If you look at that, so Square actually owned the popular Cash app that we said. There was something very beautiful about them. As at early of the year, right, the MAU, the monthly average user, okay, cost them $5 to get a user in terms of marketing and everything. But the profit they aggregate is $55 per monthly average user. That means they book a clean profit of $50 on every user. And now they have, just imagine the clientele they're having, grossing about $167 billion. And what we know about the Cash app, right? Even the local musicians all sing about it. Okay, so let's look at this. So this is what I was talking about earlier as the first ever sports CFD. It's a new generation of alternative assets, okay, creating platform opportunity for people to participate in the success of their real stars, okay? It's the first company to create real-time indices on human being. Real-time indices on human being using big data, AI, algorithms, mathematics, and analytics. Mary was making mention about big data earlier. Okay, analytics company using IT, artificial intelligence. Now, companies now are using artificial intelligence to put prices on successful individuals, business people, celebrities, okay, sports stars. Now they can put price on them that can allow people to leverage on them and trade them. Okay, it's possible that, for example, when your musicians are performing on Project Fame, for example, you can buy or sell them while they're performing. Now, while your footballers are playing on the field, you can buy or sell them. Tomorrow it's possible that it's becoming your musician, your sports celebrity. Could be pastors, it could be businessmen. The opportunity is endless because anything with data can be priced. That is what the new industry is actually turning into. All right, let me move very quickly because of my time as well. All right, another good sector you want to look into is pets. Well, in this part of the world, maybe it's not really on the rise, but it's actually ticking up a little. But in developed world, pets is another industry that has survived even the COVID experience. Okay, it may not be the fastest growing investment trend, but anything that has to do with companion animal is a surefire for you to place some funds to work coming 2022. A lot of people care about their pets. Okay, you see dogs. In fact, in the crypto world, right, there were certain coins, Dogecoin, for example, and Shiba coins. They were meme coins, okay, like funny coins after dogs. And these coins has produced more millionaires than you can imagine. I'm going to get into those ones shortly as well. So it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting what is happening right now. So pet is another industry that you don't want to ignore. Put a little bit of funds in there. If you can afford $20, $50, $100, something, buy stocks of those companies that provide a solution around that. All right. One very good one that you can actually look into is what we call Petco Health and Wellness. It's called WOOF. You see it on Stock CFD platform as WOOF. Okay, it's called Petco Health and Wellness. According to American Pet Product Association, it shows that certain percentage of U.S. household that owns a pet has skyrocketed from 56% in 1988 to 70% in 2021 to 2022. That's over 90 million households. Over 90 million households have pets. And now they will take care of their pets. Even if they can't go out to go and see their friends, they can't go to malls or some other places, but the pets keep their companion. So they will feed the pets, they will clothe them, they will take them to, whether they clothe them anyway, some people clothe dogs anyways. All right, take them to vets and other stuff. And people will have actually afford a bit of funds, okay, to spare for them. So that industry is actually moving. So you want to actually apportion a little bit of your investment and have some stocks in your portfolio. Now, something beautiful again I want to talk about is the metaverse. We've all been hearing about the metaverse. Some people don't know what it is, but please, you have to take note of it. This is becoming a change. In fact, as a matter of fact, one of the big, heavy investor in this sector is Facebook. Facebook. You know, they renamed of recent to Meta platform. Okay, it's Facebook. This is very creative. This is going to be the future of advertising. It's going to be the future of digital experience. Okay. All right. The metaverse actually unveils the next phase of the internet. Okay. This will allow you to interact with 3D virtual environments. Okay. Like the real one. Okay. All right. It's based on blockchain technology. That's what makes it very beautiful. Okay. Now there's something beautiful that I saw of recent. So there was a friend of mine who was to get some properties on the island. All right. And then, so when they've actually been talking, the guy was okay, when can we inspect? We want to make arrangement. Then the realtor said, you don't have to come to inspect physically. There are solutions on ground. We're going to send you an email. So they sent him an email, they sent him a web link to click, and they gave him a password. But they said he would need a VR headset, a virtual reality headset. Okay. So we're together, and then it got the stuff. They sent the details. We logged in there, and then we put on the gear, the video headset. Okay, and then the headset on the video, it took us on a tour about the house. That you can see the minutest detail. You can see the screws that they use in knotting the doors. You can see the edges of the house. You can move around as if you are there. And that's the same thing you will see physically. So we have it right in here. Everything is loaded. The guy has the remote control in his hand. And then, okay, let's go to the kitchen. This is how the kitchen looks. Okay, we have this, how many cabinets? Oh, this is already furnished. So you have this fridge here. Okay, what about the sitting room? How many guest rooms do we have? How does the convenience look like? Things that you can't even check yourself physically when you're there. You can go under the corners. You can go inside the drawers and everything. It's beautiful how everything has changed. It's the same way if you want to buy property in Dubai, for example, you don't have to fly from Nigeria to go to Dubai to inspect. Okay, so the metaverse is becoming much more of a reality. Now, people will be able to work and play in a virtual environment, okay, in a real-time situation, okay, online reality, from science fiction to more practical and familiar settings like homes, schools, hospitals, shopping centers. I can be here and I'm in the shopping center with you. Just look at that. We can be shopping together and just we're both individually in our house. We meet in the online space. It's a digital opportunity that is changing the world. Okay. Now, those entering the metaverse get to experience living in a digital realm where they'll be able to walk, play, shop, exercise, and socialize. Okay. So you'll be able to create your own avatar. There's a video right now that Mark Zuckerberg did. about Metaverse. Okay, create an avatar of himself. Okay, and then he launched into a space, and then he was relating with other people, and then he was just in his room, and then he was talking, and then the avatar was actually representing and relating with other people. Okay, so a lot is happening already, right? People can set up their own business of any kind. You can buy real estate, digital real estate. Imagine that. You can buy land, digital land, right? You can buy real estate, you can create in-world content, and you can attend concerts from real world superstars. It's possible tomorrow, maybe one of the Nigeria big boy, Burna Boy. All right, we all know about NFT art, right? Okay, but maybe Burna Boy can be having an event digitally now, and then everybody's attending, and we're all in our house. All right, so something is changing. Okay, so this is another industry that is actually going to grow very, very, very fast. Okay, let me just do some buttressing around that, and then I will just round up this plate and go into the other side. Something interesting happened, right? Microsoft acquired VR company. Okay, that was virtual reality company, Allspace VR in 2017. And now they are planning to integrate metaverse features into Microsoft Teams. We all know Microsoft Teams, right? The team application like Zoom that people use now, right? So you can integrate it. That means I can be at home, right? And I can be virtually in the office space and interacting with people in there. And all of us are having the experience that we are, like we are in the office. And then things can still work and connect. All right. All they just need to do is to model the real thing on ground, put it in the virtual space, everybody connects, and then we begin to relate that way. All right. Because if you notice what is happening now, if you go to a mall or a bar or something, everybody's on their phone doing something, right? People no longer gist like that anymore. Like normally before, you just drop your phone and begin to chat with your friend. Everybody's just on their phone, and then their IG, they're doing stuff like that. So now what is happening is that the connection is moving somewhere else. The same person you're chatting with now, imagine that you're in a virtual space without person, and the person also is somewhere else and the mall. Okay, can you join me? I'm in this mall now. And the guy says, oh, really? And then the guy just tune in and connect with you where you are digitally. She's not there, all right? But digitally, you're all together, and then you're giving updates and you're enjoying. So it's possible that tomorrow you're seeing people on their mobile phone and they're just smiling and giggling, and everybody is looking at them. Okay, but what is happening? That conversation has moved from physical experience to the virtual space. That is very, very interesting. I talk about the virtual reality home tour. So that's what is happening now. Buying properties, you don't have to inspect physically. You get the VR experience. They send you the login. You see everything about the house, even till the tiniest part of it as well. Okay. Now, what you have noticed, the smartest company to take advantage of the growth, which is the Meta platform, of course, which is Facebook, the parent company of Facebook. So advertising on social media will undoubtedly remain Meta core revenue driver for years to come. So advertising is going to be crazy in this space, and it's going to be high changes. So now let me talk about this last part, okay, before I actually end my slide. It's called the cryptocurrency. We've all been having the rave about cryptocurrency. A lot has been happening about cryptocurrencies, all right? Now, when we're done, I'm going to give you a couple of my own ideas and thoughts around cryptocurrency and what is happening now in the current bloodbath in the market, and why a lot of people shouldn't really be scared if you understand it, because millionaires are made in the bear market. But let me talk a little bit about the cryptocurrency market. So why are cryptocurrencies important? Okay, they are decentralized platforms, okay? It's blockchain based. It allows individuals to engage in peer-to-peer financial transactions or enter into contracts, okay? So what it means is that there's no actually a third party. Thank you very much. Okay, so there's actually no third party, all right, that can actually interfere in it, okay, like intermediary banks, monetary authority, courts, or judge. No third party come in place as well, okay? So the cryptocurrency has potentially disrupted the existing financial order, and it has democratized finance, okay? Size of cryptocurrency space has grown exponentially in the past decade. I think Osondu was talking about this yesterday as well. Collective market capitalization of more than $2.5 trillion. Something very interesting is happening in that space. And that is why even the Nigerian government couldn't kill it. They just have to find a way to align with it. All right, so let me just talk about important coins of 2022 that you need to watch out for. Bitcoin, of course, that's number one. Now, Bitcoin is having a lot of bloodbath now. Price is dropping down and stuff like that. But you shouldn't be scared, okay? You shouldn't be scared if you understand what is actually happening in the market space. You shouldn't be scared, okay? This is the time to actually take advantage of them. The price will actually drop to a large extent, okay, but it's called redistribution as well, because there's a lot of market appeal around that point. And let me tell you what I think so as well. If we look since the COVID, since late last year, right, all stocks have actually been rising points, rising higher. S&P 500 rose from like 7,000 rose like for another about 7,000 points in the COVID scenario. That is crazy, right? So it means we are at a tilting point in destiny. Okay, then a lot of changes will happen in that space. So if you are well positioned, you could make a lot of money from that market. Okay. So Bitcoin is another very good one. Ethereum is the second one. Then we have Litecoin. Litecoin, as of November 2021, has a market capitalization of $14 billion and a per token value of around $200, one coin, one token. Okay, so this makes it the 17th largest cryptocurrency in the world. We have also Cardano. That's another one you may look into if you don't have in your portfolio. You may look to get a unit of this. Okay, we call Cardano Ethereum killer. Okay, because one of the founders of Cardano are actually in Ethereum. They're one of the founders of Ethereum before. He pulled out, okay, to set up this. Okay, he has the sixth largest market capitalization with $57 billion and one other trades for around $1.79 now. They still have a lot of opportunity for growth, okay, in that space. So the thing is, how bad can they go? All right. How bad can they go? This is currently $1.79. How bad can it get? What about if the adoption actually become real and this coin becomes, let's say, around maybe $10 or $20? Look at the growth you will have. All right. And Polkadot is another one. As of November 2021, Polkadot has a market capitalization of roughly $41 billion, and one dot is trading for around $39. Now, let's talk about other ones. We have Bitcoin Cash, we have Dogecoin, we have Stellar, and we have Shiba Inu. I talked about the pet sector earlier, right? And these two coins, Shiba Inu and Doge, they are two meme coins for a dog. All right. All of us know about Elon Musk. Elon Musk was pushing Doge. He was just making fun about it. And then because he was making fun about it, people got interested and the price of Doge move up rapidly. The same thing is happening to Shiba Inu as well. Now we're having companies, real estate companies that are telling you now that you can use Shiba Inu to buy properties. Some are accepting Doge to buy properties in different parts of the world. So that means if you have, I think it was El Salvador, right? That he said you can even become a citizen if you have 3 Bitcoin. They just come and invest it. It will give you automatic citizenship, okay? This is telling us that things have changed, okay? Another important thing I want to say again is, just like what Mary hinted earlier, you need to learn a skill, and it could be in the digital space. In this case, you could learn how to trade. It could be learning to trade digital assets, maybe like you want to trade Forex or stocks or derivatives, or you want to even go into the crypto space as well. You just have to do a lot of reading to understand where money is actually moving into. Okay, I'm going to actually try to just read something for us very quickly on something that I believe would definitely be a kind of a game changer for us. Exactly. Okay, so let me just run us through this. If everybody can still hear me. Okay, so I just want to say this, okay, right? Now, even though Bitcoin is crashing, I think it's important that you do not sell your Bitcoin. Well, this is not a financial advice, all right? But I'm just giving my own opinion on what I think is the reason. One of the reasons why I think I'm looking in that direction is because, one, Fidelity, for example, is accepting Bitcoin, okay? A lot of huge mining industry are mining Bitcoin as we speak. Even Elon Musk himself holds some, and Michael Saylor's, all of them hold it. If you go to bitcointreasuries.org, you will see all this detail and see how much these guys are holding. Okay, if this thing is dropping and these big boys are holding it, holding 1,000 units, Elon Musk is the second largest holder of BTC. With all this that is happening, it's not selling off. What is that telling us? The more it drops, the more they buy. There's something they are saying. Nobody wants to lose their fortune. It won't cost them anything to just sell off in one day. So why are they still holding on to it? There's something they know that the masses doesn't know, all right? Metaverse is coming, like I told you, right? It's going to be the future of advertising. Facebook is going to be very heavy on that as well. Now, gold is getting dumped currently. Why? Because we will be mining gold in the space. All right? A lot of new discovery in the space, right? Let me tell you, right? Maybe later this decade, by the end of this decade, hopefully, we'll be mining gold in space. There's plenty of gold in space. It has been discovered. There are more gold in space than is even here on the land. Okay, so it's possible there's going to be a new way. You can see where everybody is going into the space, right? The big boys already saw what is in there. And then there's going to be a lot of change, right? And now also Bitcoin is limited at 21 million. Okay, and now exchanges are already getting depleted, so the price will go up eventually because there's a maximum unit that can be produced. Once it's depleted, nobody can mine Bitcoin anymore. Then what will happen? It will be scarce, the value will appreciate, and then it will drive further. Okay, and like I said earlier, right, the internet is no longer secure with quantum computer coming in, right? So blockchain is going to be the only way to secure your hard drive online. Cybersecurity is a threat. The more faster computer we build, the more advanced hackers get. Okay, so blockchain technology is going to be the way to secure your content, your drives online. So there's a very good opportunity in that space. Institutions and banks are willing to buy Bitcoin, and they will do everything they can to drop the price and buy it at a cheaper price. Okay, so this issue about the fraud around Omicron, just let it slide. Okay, don't listen to what they say. Look at what they do instead. Okay, look at what the big boys are doing. Look at what the big market players are doing. Okay, those are the things you want to look into, not what they say most times. Okay, a lot of propaganda happened there. If you look at how most big investors, how they have made their wealth, just look at it in the future, read their history. Most of them make their money in bear markets. Warren Buffett says, when people are greedy, he said, that's when I'm fearful. When people are fearful, that's when I'm greedy, because that's when they take advantage of the market. They understand the cycle. They understand the cycle. Okay, so those are just the things I actually want to drop in here. I think I'm still within my time. So I will leave room for one or two questions. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, David. That was awesome. So we should be expecting Mary Adewumi back in the studio so that we can go into the discussion forum. Okay, so you've dropped so much. You know, if you were a musician, I would have said you have dropped a lot of bars. You know, you was dropping the bars. Okay, where money is. Where investors should look out for and all of that. So to our audience, I don't know if you have any question, can you please drop your questions in the comment section so that we can take them. All right. So Mary, we are still expecting you back in the studio. I have not seen you in the studio, so please get back in the studio. We have questions for you. Okay. So I'm going to kick off with a question just to get us started. I hope our audience online would also drop their questions in the comment in the chat room. Okay, so Davis, you said so much. Like I said, you've dropped a lot of bars. You're very good and amazing. Thank you so much. So for someone who is just about entering into the okay, Mary is back. Let me just add that to the stream. Okay, so for someone who is just about to start investing, who doesn't even understand all these things you've said, so what is your advice? How will the person even get started in the first place? So I want you to, how do you take those baby steps as a starter? You're just entering the new year, and then you see all these opportunities coming, unfolding before you. What are the baby steps? What baby steps advice can you give to someone who is just about starting a career, as it were, in the investment world? So, Davis, please, the question is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ayo. Okay, so first thing, there's a rule when it comes to investment. All right, the rule is don't put in more than you're willing to lose. Never put in more than you're willing to lose. Don't borrow money to invest. Don't sell property to invest. Okay, don't get loans to invest. Okay, it's supposed to be an alternate source of income. Okay, something you can put on the side. Okay, and then that you can use to actually make more. Okay, so because one thing about investment is psychology. Psychology is very, very psychological. Okay, there will always be a waiting period. There will always be a trying time. There will always be a rough time, but eventually the journey will be achieved. A lot of people think it's a kind of a linear move. You just put money in and just wait, in the next couple of weeks, it has developed to 100%. No, it's not. It undulates, it ebbs and flow, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It will test your patience. So if you are under any form of pressure, maybe you get a loan to put into it. Now, you won't have the patience to wait till it matures. All right? And then you make a lot of decisions out of fear or misinformation. Okay, and that will make you lose out on your opportunity. So first thing you want to do is make sure that you have funds that you know won't really affect you if anything goes wrong, right? That's one. Two, the second thing is now moving into the space. Okay, so first, if you want to go into stocks, there are applications that you can use now. We have Shaka, we have Bamboo. Bamboo is another one. Shaka is another one. So this app are always available. Before the restriction from the government, you can actually fund with your bank card and put it there, and then you have access to international stocks. Okay, but government was saying perhaps fintechs are part of what is making the dollar price against naira to be very strong. Okay, don't know how true that is, but then there are ways around it now that people can still buy all those stocks internationally. That's one. Two, you can actually speculate on them if you understand trading, but that requires a lot of technical information. What it means is that there are a lot of CFD brokers that you can open an account on their platform locally and internationally, and then you can buy any of all these stocks. But it's speculation. That means you have to buy and hold like a leveraged product. Okay. So you buy it on the platform and you hold it for a longer period of time. Okay, but that is more trading. But the other ones that is good for beginners is to go into those apps, look for some of those names that I mentioned on those stocks. All right, do a couple of research, read them up, and then you have a particular amount in your account. Maybe you funded $100. You can try to say, okay, I'm putting $10 in CrowdFirst, for example. I'm putting $2 in Zscaler for security, cyber security. I'm putting one in Wolf or Metastock. Okay, and then you put those portions. You can just buy a unit of them. You see how much they cost. Some of these things now, maybe some of them are $1 per share. Some is less than $1. So you can just buy a couple of units and then just keep it on in there. So the best way to start is to get some of those applications, Bamboo, Chaka, any of those, there are many of them as well that you can actually buy from. Once you're there, look for the stocks to buy, and then begin to read up in that space. Because whatever you put your mind into, it develops. It develops. The more you read, the more interesting it becomes. You put your ears on the ground, you listen to those news, you look at how they're performing, because stocks are exclusive reserve of the government. They indicate how the economy is doing. The reason why I was wary or kind of bothered about the all US stocks that is skyrocketing is we know that COVID hits every nation of the world very strongly, right? And now during this COVID period, your own stocks are appreciating. Something is not connecting for me. So I'm just like, no, something is not right here. Where is the heat of COVID on you? And we know that this COVID had impact on you the most even. So something is happening. I mean, the government is actually salvaging the situation, okay? So they're pumping funding there and buying time, okay? Just like something is cracking and you're modding it. After a while, there will need to be a definite correction. Let it just scatter, rebuild it, and give it a new foundation. So I know that there'll be an opportunity. So most times I'm monitoring some of those stocks and I'm looking for an opportunity to actually sell them off big time. Okay, but you can't do that if you don't have the knowledge of what is happening. Okay, so as a beginner, you want to develop interest in that sector, have a fund that you know that you can afford to lose if anything goes wrong. Okay, start up, get some of those apps, get it funded, buy some of those units of those stocks, put it up in there, and then continue to develop yourself in that space. If you want to go into stocks, if you want to do crypto, for example, join community of like minds. Okay, Mary was talking about you networking around that circle. Join community of like minds, people who are in the crypto space. Check their groups, join, ask questions. What are the things to buy? How do you buy? There are a lot of ways around it how you can buy. Very easy to do. Buy some of them, put a fortune around this, okay, and then buy those things and just hold them. Thank you very much, sir. I hope that answers this, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So for that person who is thinking, yes, I want to come into the space, remember, David says that don't invest more than you are able to lose. Don't invest more than you are willing to lose. So and it is not something that you just start today and tomorrow you wake up a multi-millionaire. Just like every other thing we do in life, it takes time, it takes a lot of process. You grow into your proficiency. Okay, so all right, I'm trying to see if we have questions. So let me ask Mary a question now. So we're going to be interchanging that. So Mary, you gave us a lot of insight into career trends to watch out for. And you said that some careers are declining while some careers are coming more into limelight. So For somebody who is experiencing midlife crisis right now, usually career people tells us that people in their between 40 and 50, sometimes they get to the peak and then they don't know what to do next. Okay, so what advice can you give that person who is stuck right now? They are stuck in that they don't even know what to do. And for many of these people, they are not so flexible. Some like they say in our part of the world, let's do it the way we have always done it so that we can have the result we have always had. So for people like that, they are okay with it because things have worked. They've handled money, they've seen things. So what advice do you have for people like that who need to step into the next phase of their lives and create something for themselves and for generations to come? So I hope the question is clear.
Yes, very well.
All
Yeah,
right,
thank you
please.
very much. Yeah, thank you very much. So what I would advise such people is that they've been working in a specific career path, you know. Okay, like how can I call it? Maybe you're an educationist, You've been working, maybe you've been a teacher all your life, or you've been an health teacher, or you've been a lecturer all your life, and you're getting stuck. What you're going to do is that you have to search yourself. Number one, look inward and search for that passion, something that you're passionate about. Something that you're passionate about, and not just something that you're passionate about. Now look for how to make a research of that thing that you're passionate about. Look for how to step up your game in that passion, in that career path that you want to look into. Because why do I say this? No, you're already stuck in one place. You could see that you're just moving around the circle. You're looking, you don't want to get out. And for you to start all over from the scratch is always a difficult thing. When I was talking about me being an innovation researcher, just an innovation researcher. What was the correlation between innovation researcher and data science? There's something related to them. There's a balance, and that balance is data. Both are working with data. So you look for something, the next step, or there's some many careers that are always surrounding our jobs, whichever way. Like if you're an educationist, if you're a teacher, that means you can be a presenter, that you can be a consultant, that means you can be or what's it called? That means you can be a consultant, that means you can be online trainer, you can be so many other things. So what are you going to do in that kind of thing? Then leverage on IT. You you are talking about flexibility, you are talking about, it can't work for the present world we are now. So maybe you're an educational, just leverage on IT that, okay, I've been a very good teacher. I can teach in 4 words. I can teach in a building. I can really communicate communicate to people. What can I do? Leverage on IT. Take up IT skill to boost it up, or look up for other things that people are doing in that particular thing. And you already have a years of experience, so you are entering at an expert level. You're not just entering at a beginner level in here. You're entering at an expert level because you already have a years, or you're just updating or upscaling your skills. You're upscaling your skills. Now you're not entering you're entering at an expatriate level, but adding more skills. Why? So as to communicate, or so as to find balance with the present world. I think that's that just find a balance between what you've been doing and what is happening, and look for how to upscale your skills to get around it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And one of the things that I just wanted to buttress some of the things you said. For people who have experience, I think that one of the things that you can easily do to move on to the next level is to become a coach. And how can you become a coach is by teaching people what you have learned. And remember, one of the facilitators yesterday, Ben, said that video content will be more on the rise. So we have a lot of LMS, learning management systems out there where people can put up their content for sale. Okay, so for example, you talked about a classroom teacher. Everybody wants to learn one subject or the other. So that classroom teacher can make money on YouTube, for example. Let's say you're a math teacher, you can begin to teach mathematics or just do video, get a phone, get a board, and video yourself teaching mathematics and upload on YouTube. As people consume those things, a lot of students will be asking questions. So how do I find the lowest common factor? How do I find the highest common factor? Lowest common multiple, LCM, highest common factor. How do I find the arithmetic progression or geometric progression? People are asking questions, because they need somebody who would help them, guide them. So why don't you convert that your knowledge into video content that you can teach people? So at that way you become a coach, and people would pay you. So you can have YouTube paying. You can also go on all these MMOCs and just start something, and you start teaching people, and you never can tell how far it will go. Sometimes one of the things I've realized about success is that sometimes the things you don't pay attention to could be the same thing that you need to move you to your next level. So if you have the experience, please maximize it. So I'm bringing Davis right now. Davis, you have a question. Davis, your video is off. Okay, so we have a question here, Davis. This is from Paul Imukoro. Said, what are the stock apps we can leverage? What are the stock apps we can leverage? So Davis, the question is for you. What are the stock apps we can leverage? Okay, so
all right,
you have the
thank you. So there are many of them. Okay, but I think the top
can't
4
see your
is.
video. We
Can we
can't
hear
see
me?
your
Can we see
video.
me?
Please. We can hear you, but we can't see your video.
The video is up.
Okay, just shoot. Go
Can you
ahead,
see me?
please.
Okay, all right. Okay, so there are definitely there are many of them, but the top 4 is Trove. Trove is one of it. Trove. Trove. You just go to App Store. You see Trove. You can download it. Okay. Then you see Chaka. Chaka. Chaka is another one. All right. This guy should pay us for ads anyway. So I think they should pay us for ads. So we have Chaka as
Okay.
well. Then we have Rise. Okay, Rise is another one with as low as $10. You can start investing in a lot of international stocks as well. Rise is another one. Then the fourth one is Bamboo, BAMBOO, Bamboo. You can buy Apple, Julius Berger, Amazon, Dangote, Tesla, any of those stocks. They're all there. I think those 4 is actually fine for anyone who just want to start into it. So that is for traditional investor. You want to buy and hold for a long period. Okay, but if you want to speculate, okay, it takes a lot of learning. I won't advise a newbie to go into speculation, because speculation, you can make money very quickly. You don't have to hold for too long. Okay, you could just buy now, sell now, buy now, sell now. Okay, but it takes a lot of more information. You need to understand sentiment, fundamentals, technical analysis for you to be able to do that. But with this ones, you don't have any. You just buy any of those apps, look for the names of those stocks, put a little bit of fun in them, buy them, close the app, and just check at intervals. That's it.
Okay. So buy hold at intervals, and then you can go ahead. Okay, so that's a good one. So I hope that answers the question for the stock apps we can leverage. Okay, so let's take another question around career. Okay, so may you explain some of the industries that are declining, and some of the industries that are coming to limelight. Okay, people need to know, and people need to understand. And I understand that there are some maybe some parts of the world where technology is not really a part of them, especially for a particular generation, maybe the baby boomers. Yes, I know that a lot of Gen Y are picking up a lot of these things, but for the baby boomers and below, a good number of them are not really they are not tech natives, unlike the Gen Z and co. So how can you help someone who is not a tech native to be able to position themselves for opportunities coming? For as a career person, what advice would you have for someone who is not really this tech native? So I hope you understand the question. So how can you
Yeah.
help someone like that to be able to take advantage of all these things we've been discussing so far?
Is it me helping or the person helping him or herself? Because if
Yes.
it's
So what advice would you
okay,
would
what
you give?
advice?
Yeah, would you give the person?
Yeah,
All right.
the advice I would give the person is to try and what's it called, employ the skill of an expertise in his or her field. That is it. You employ the skills. You know that you can't do it. You can't do it. Then you need somebody to assist you. So, um, like I know of my one of my fathers, and sometimes when he's having issue with his journal, he has a journal. Although he is a bit, not too much, a bit tech savvy. So when he's having issue with his journal, he will call me from Ife. Tutu, can you help me do this one? He will list all the things they want to put. You want to put that, oh, let me put this one, let me put this one, let me put this one, let me find out about this one, let me get details about this one. Are you sure this one is paying? He will itemize the list of the things he wants to do, and I'll be like, okay. So, and before you know it, I will explain in the language he understands. I will explain, because we are talking about baby boomers. We are talking about 1960s, people that are born in 1960s. So I will explain in the language you understand. And before you know it, started picking up himself. He started learning and started, oh, okay, oh, that's this is what they mean. Oh, I see. So what I would advise those people that actually don't want to go, that actually, but I'm talking about people that just don't want to upgrade and upgrade. They don't just want to read. Then you have to, I don't know, you just have to employ somebody that is very good in it, because I don't think you can survive without.
You know what you said now. I remember a particular CEO. I think I was reading about it, or somebody said it. So the guy, somebody asked him a question. So he called one of his staff and said, "This guy asked a question. Please answer him." So the guy that asked the question was now wondering that, okay, but sir, I'm asking you, why are you asking me? He said, well, that's why I employed him, to be able to answer questions like that. Okay, and I think that this is very important at this stage, especially for people like that, understanding when to transit from being someone who is a player to becoming a coach. So I think that is very, very critical, because a lot of people fizzle out, and they lose relevance because they have refused to raise people. So when you raise people, the truth is, when you get to that point where new technologies are happening, surround yourself with people who are conversant with the new technologies, and you allow them. If you run a business, allow them to run the show. Don't still insist that you want to be the one to take all the decisions. You want to be the one to run the show, or you will still be doing it your archaic way,
Yeah.
and you may not be conversant with the new realities in your industry. So it is always advisable that when you have people like that, let them work. You employ them to work. I've seen some people who work in places, and they said that we are not employed to think. Why would you employ someone and you don't pick their brain? That is why you employ them, for crying out loud. You need to pick their brain and let them do their work and feel safe as the owner of the business, that this person is doing everything to make sure that this business goes into the next phase. And when they ask questions like that, you should be able to answer those questions. All right. So thank you so much for that insight. Okay, so I'm bringing in Davis again. We'll just take one or two, and then we will call it a day. So, Davis, so let's go back to investing. Okay, I know you talked about this your stars trading platform. I know there are quite a number of persons here who are football stars. So I wouldn't mind if for the next 2 or 3 minutes you can enlighten us on that your platform. How can somebody become a star trader? How can somebody also begin to invest? There are some of us who probably would not want to do betting because we know it can be very, very addictive. Okay, but what if? But what if we understand trading players and all, and we can do that? So, can you just enlighten us a bit on your star trading? Yeah.
Okay, all stars trading, all stars trader. Okay, so it's actually a very good one. In fact, it's not been deployed anywhere else. It's the first we're launching in Africa, and I think it's a big one that's actually moving places. Okay, so now there are a lot of stuffs in place to make it much easier. Okay, the closest thing to this is betting, like you said. Unfortunately, many Nigerians believe the only thing that exists around football is betting. Okay, and which is not true. Okay, so sports CFD now makes a whole lot of difference. So what happened is we took the passion from football, okay, out of betting and placed it on the CFD market. Now, what is a CFD market? CFD means contract for difference. It means I want to buy something that I'm not owning physically, but I'm buying it for the purpose of making profit on the fluctuation in price in the future. The future could be the next 5 seconds. The future could be the next 20 minutes. The future could be the next 5 days. Okay? So there can be CFD for anything. There can be CFD for cars. There can be CFD for houses. There can be CFD for stocks, bonds. Okay? It just is the first time that there's now CFD on real people, human being. Okay? So what it means is that while matches are ongoing on the field, okay, while Ronaldo is playing, for example, maybe you're a Liverpool fan, for example, you love Mo Salah. Okay, while he's playing, the beautiful thing now is that you are no longer bound to the outcome of that match. The only thing that exists in betting is this is how betting works for those who bet. Okay, you make a prediction saying, okay, Liverpool, Man U. You're going to say, okay, Liverpool will win. The odds is, let's say 50 is the odds, right? So if I put, let's say 5,000 naira, multiplied by 50, if I'm right, that's probably what I'm going to win. Okay, but you are predicting the outcome. That means Liverpool must win Man U for you to actually make money. Now, it's possible that Liverpool players, they played very well. Okay, and there was an error leading to goal by one of the players, and then they still lost the match. Okay, you have lost money. Your club too have lost, right? So it's an unfair game. So what we've been able to do with Sports CFD now is that we said, okay, why should people's profiting be tied to an outcome that they don't have control over? So now, why not their profiting tied to the knowledge of the individual players, not on the club now? Because the players actually makes the club, not the club making the players, because players can actually move from club to club. So what it means now is that the only thing you need is the knowledge of your football players. Do you know Messi very well? Do you know his position? Do you know how he performs? How is he disciplined? What chances does he create? What is his core strength? Okay. Do you know Mo Salah? Do you know Lukaku? Do you know Trent? Do you know Maguire? If you know all these players well, because Nigerians have a lot of knowledge about these players. You see them when they talk passionately. They will tell you the story or the history of a football player from day one that he has joined the club. And they've never had the opportunity of making 1 naira on that player. So now that knowledge can now be monetized now. You can now turn that knowledge into making money ventures. So what it means is that while match is ongoing now, you have 22 players you can trade on individually. Whether they win or lose as a club, it doesn't matter anymore. The outcome doesn't matter. What happened now is the knowledge. Okay, so Liverpool is playing, Man U is playing. You can decide to buy Mo Salah on Liverpool. You can decide to sell Ronaldo on Man U. If Liverpool wins or Mo Salah wins, it's none of your issue. There's no ticket cutting. And the good thing again is that you are not tied to the end of the match, maybe in 90 minutes. You can buy or sell the same way you buy or sell anything right now. You buy in the first 10 minutes, you make profit, you can close it. If the player is not playing well, think that Ronaldo is messing up today, you simply click sell and then you're out of the trade. Okay, so the freedom is back in the hands of the people. So one of the first ways to actually participate is to go on the Play Store. If you go on Google Play Store, just type All Stars Trader. All Stars Trader. It's one only app in there by Aqua Digital Rising. You download the app, Once you download the app, you fill in all the details. Okay, then you get, so your database will be extracted back end. Then the salespeople and the front end will call you up for training. They run a lot of training on Zoom. Physically, there's training at the office in Lagos as well. And then they're doing a lot of training. There's a particular thing that they're working on now. It's called on-air commentary competition. Okay, it's going to be one of the new things that they're going to be launching very shortly. So I think it's a very beautiful one that people who love passion for football can actually enjoy. And for the first time in history also, for the non-Christians, for example, let's say the Islamic sect, this will be the only first product around sport that will appeal to the Muslims even. Because it's not betting, okay? The same way anybody would trade traditional stocks, you trade bonds, you trade Apple, you trade Amazon, that's the same way you're trading your football stars, so you're not betting. It's a speculative market on CFD. So it's a new leveling field. So technology is evolving, changing a lot of things. So now a lot of people can take opportunity in that space. If you understand football very well, you come into it to make a lot of money. If you don't understand football, you could be partners. But if you have huge following, let's say on social media or media presence, or maybe your WhatsApp status, for example, if you post something on WhatsApp and you have average of 150, 200 people view it, you are an influencer. You should monetize that WhatsApp pages. There are companies that will look to pay you to put their ad on your WhatsApp status. So a lot of people don't understand that. So it's a plus. So building your contact on WhatsApp, saving people's phone number is interesting. You post something, you can see the statistics, how many people view it. That's another place that is going very digital. Okay, so you can join them as partners or you can join them as trader. Just go download the app on All Stars Trader on Apple, on Google Play Store. That's the first one.
Thank you so much, Davis. For people who want to know more, then you need to join the winning community. Okay, so we'll be having a lot of these discussions in the course of the new year 2022, giving people opportunities and helping people, holding people by the hand to be able to make drastic changes in their lives. So we've come to the end of the show for today, and that is winning the year 1.0. So one final word from the two facilitators for today, one final word, and we'll call it a wrap. So we'll start with you, Mary, ladies first. So from everything we have shared yesterday and today, for you as a career person and as a data analyst, for people going into the new year, like somebody said that there's nothing new about the new year, but the things you learn and the things you do differently will be what will make the difference in the new year. So what is your final word, Mary? So let's take you.
Okay. Yeah, my final word. Thank you very much. My final word is keep learning. And before you can say you want to keep learning, know what you're doing. As in, if you don't like Dolly Parton, I always quote it. I'm sorry, but I will just go back to it. Don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. It's not compulsory you have to be on that road. It's not compulsory. Things are evolving, things are changing. Start paving another road. Another thing is that success don't just come. You could hear the other speakers been talking about success don't just come. Davis Babalola, that they don't just come. You have to do your own part. If you can't do your own part, you have to go out and you have to go out and say, I want to be successful, and it takes a lot of hard work. And according to Elon Musk too, you could either watch it happen, you could either watch IT changing the space or be part of it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Mary. God bless you. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. So much value you've added to us today. So, Davis, it's your turn to give us your parting shot for today. So, Davis, one final word from you. What are you going to say to our audience today? What do we do differently? And what are those striking words that even if someone cannot remember everything you have said today, what is one thing they should always remember? So, Davis, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you. So one thing we should remember is January is 75 days. All right.
Yeah.
So 30 December, you should put something aside for the future. A lot is going to be happening next year. Trust me, a lot is going to be happening next year. I don't want to foretell woes, all right? But I don't think it's going to be so easy on a lot of businesses. Okay, if the correction on international stocks happen, we're going to feel the heat. Okay, if all the stocks are coming down, we're going to feel the heat. Okay, so a lot of changes is going to come. Now we can see even locally that the price of fuel is going to be pumped higher, right? So it's telling us something that are handwritings of the world that the reality of the COVID implication is just going to be hitting. We can see in the last couple of months, prices of foodstuffs has gone up. They are not coming down anytime soon. All right. So whatever it is, make a plan for the future. We shouldn't be scared of these things. They create opportunities. So look where to put your fund. Look where to put the money. Look at the trends. Okay. Look at the market segment that will make a lot of profit in that regard. Imagine before the event, before the COVID started, right? Imagine that you know that COVID is going to happen and Zoom is going to take that leap. Imagine you bought Zoom shares on Bamboo, even with just $50. Look at what happened all through 2020. Zoom was one of those big things. Everybody have to just use Zoom for businesses, for stores. Okay, so now look at all these stocks that we just shared with you now. That's the future as well. Look at what happened. If next year happens that we have a lot of new developments in cyberspace and threat and security is another one, and you bought shares of some of those cybersecurity companies, and then they happen to pull their worth all through the year, it should be watch more. By this is the end of this year now, you should be thinking at what will have made difference. So if from January till now, you don't have anything that you could check around stocks or bonds or international asset that you have, you don't want to repeat the same mistake next year. Dirty December. Put something aside. January is long, all right? Thank you very much.
Okay, don't just allow your December to get so dirty that your January become messy. Okay. So so that's the advice. Let's start January on a very, very good note. So put some money aside and invest. That's the advice to you. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody for joining us today. So I've displayed the link to joining the winning community, bit.ly/the winning community. For now, we operate only on WhatsApp. I know that as the community grows, we may migrate to some other platforms, but for ease of communication, so please, we want to invite you to join. We have a lot of opportunities coming your way. So I want to also encourage that for everyone who, especially those who came late, please go over the videos. If you go to my YouTube channel, Dele Ayobankole, youtube.com/Dele Ayobankole, you see the video for yesterday there. You can listen again and again. And if you have any questions, please bring it to the community. We will answer your questions. And of course, a lot of the things we have shared on these 2 days will be taken. There will be ongoing conversations for us in the community as the year unfolds. So we'll be learning so much to help ourselves to get better and to get bigger. So I want to say a very big thank you. Thank you to all the facilitators. Yesterday we had a coordinator. She's a doctor in LASU, Dr. Fulu. Thank you so much for anchoring the program yesterday. And of course, I also want to say thank you to Ben. Ben is a very, very astute business researcher and a business consultant too. You want to grow your business from the ground up, you need a Ben in your life. Okay, and you want to know how to invest your money, you need a Davis in your life. You want to know how to progress in your career or how to make sense of data, you need a Mary in your life. And on this note, we call it a wrap on the Win the Year Conference 1.0. I believe that next year is going to be a lot bigger, it's going to be a lot better. So I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Thank you for making it this far. We will see again in the community, and we'll see in January 2022, because we're having some monthly meetings to help ourselves to be on track and to get better on this journey. So thank you so much, everyone. Keep winning. Remember, it is still your winning season. Bye for now. Bye, everybody. God bless you. So okay, I think I just end the broadcast now. So thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. Thank you. Bye for now.